Hi, and welcome back to Hit Save on That. I'm Wendy Rivera, founder and CEO of Do You Speak Bride, and the founder and owner of Aveler and Bride in Virginia and in South Carolina, two multi-million-dollar bridal boutiques. And we talk here about how love and leadership affects every area of our life. It's an important discussion. And the reason it's called Hit Save on That is because these are lessons that I have learned over the course of my life that I have intentionally done that. I have hit save on those things that serve well in this arena of love and leadership. Things that people have taught me, things that people have lived out in front of me, concepts that have been proven to be true over the course of my life. And so I love coming to this forum and sharing them here with you and hearing your thoughts in the comments and also in the messages that you give me. Hopefully this is encouraging to your heart and that it inspires you in what you're doing in your life. Today, I want to talk about the things that might be holding you back in what you're doing. The things that you see that you're like, these are the reasons why I can't succeed. Let's dive into those. So if you're a bridal stylist out there, and I'm going to start with bridal styling, but this applies to any arena of work that you're doing. But if you're a bridal stylist and you're struggling with closing brides, that's the term that's used in the industry because it is technically a sales position. So we talk about closing sales. I don't love those terms because I really believe it puts our mindset towards the transaction itself, which in bridal is specifically the wrong mindset to have. It is true that in other sales, relationship is everything. That is true. But in bridal, it's that on steroids because it is at the highest sensitive point of people's lives concerning relationships. It is the one relationship that is supposed to be the experience and exemplify what love is to the world. So the two people coming together and loving each other well is the arena that we are in when we are dealing with bridal dresses and the bride. So it's her relationship not only with her fiance, but then her relationship with her mother and her father and her friends and her sisters and her aunts and her grandmothers and her brothers and her nieces and nephews and all of those people. Many of those people she'll bring to bridal appointments, but all of those people she'll be dealing with in the journey up until her wedding. So relationships is what we are involved in when we are styling brides. So it is way more about focusing on how to facilitate those moments together, to facilitate each person in their individual unique role in relation to the bride and empower them all to be free to share while empowering the bride's voice and giving safe spaces for people to see each other, value each other, hear each other, and connect with each other. And these life moments are everything. And mastering the ability to do that, the result will be, yes, you will have more brides find their dress with you. And so that affects your bridal gown business in a very positive way. But if you are just looking to, how do I affect my bridal gown business in a positive way? I want to just think about and worry about and talk about the transactional side of it. You'll miss both. You'll miss the moments and you'll miss how it could positively affect your business while you're working your doggonedest to get that money in the door. And that will turn you into more controlling tactics, into more salesy tactics, into pushy tactics, into tactics that may work, sadly, in other arenas of sales. That's why it's very important that you not just listen to somebody who teaches sales if you're in bridal. Again, I fully believe that's true of any sales position. You'll be the strongest salesperson if you are the strongest people person, if you are the best at relationships. But in the highly sensitive arena of brides, it's vital that you not fool yourself into thinking, I can get the corner on the market of how to turn the screws in all the right ways to get the results I want. Right? So Do You Speak Bride is a whole training platform about these things. So that's why I'm very passionate about this. But today, if you're a bridal stylist and you are saying one of these statements, I'm going to tell you that these statements are true. We're going to talk about why. If you are saying, well, I can't close more because our space is just not great. It's embarrassing when a bride walks in. Honestly, our space is just dated. It's crowded. There's not great lighting. And I just don't like how things are displayed. So how can I close brides in this atmosphere? A bride just doesn't want to say yes here. I'm going to tell you that statement that you are saying is then true. Maybe you're a stylist that is saying, I actually love our space. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's everything a bride could ever dream of. The lighting is great. Everything is beautiful, but we just don't have a lot of gowns, or we don't have the right gowns. If we just had this designer, if we just had this dress from the designer, or if we just had dresses that were priced at this and not this. Like, it's basically the problem is the gowns that we have. Then I'm going to tell you that if you're saying that, that is true. Maybe you're saying, I can't close brides because today's brides are just indecisive, and they are too inundated with social media, and they're so focused on that, and they're so focused on having the ultimate experience and going to all the shops and dragging it out, and they just can't make a decision because they don't know who they are and they don't know what they want. They come in and they show us a picture, and then we'd show them that dress, and then they don't get it because they can't decide. And they're too focused on TikTok and Instagram and Pinterest and just all of social media things. And it's today's bride. So what are you going to do? They're just not going to buy. They can't do it. If that is what you're saying, I'm going to tell you that is true. What are you hearing me say? Because I want to be very clear here. What you are deciding to believe is what your reality will be. And you will talk about that to others, and you will try to get others to agree that that is the reality. You're not talking about it to others to find solutions to the struggle of whatever it is you've just said. The struggle of your space, the struggle of your stock, the struggle of today's brides. That's not why you're talking about it. You're talking about it to have other people affirm that that is the truth. And I'm going to go a step further. If that's the case, if you say it, one, it will be true for you. And your stock will be the problem, or the space will be the problem, or the brides will be the problem every time. And you will see it, and you will then feel like that validates what you're saying, and you will go deeper into that perspective. And the next bride, that's all you're looking for as well. But on top of it, it not only is something that is a reality for you, you'll be looking to spread it to be the reality for others. It compounds in that way. And if you're not looking for it to be the struggle that you're going through to be solved, you're just looking for someone to affirm that that is the truth, then the reality is you are now under that. It now rules and controls the dynamic. And the real reason why you're choosing to hold on to that belief and have others affirm that belief is so that you don't have to work, so that you don't have to change, so that you don't have to grow. And the reason it's not that you don't, I think that if somebody were to say to you, do you want to grow? You'd say yes. But the truth is, it's then someone who believes that if they are not accomplishing what they want to accomplish, that it might be a poor reflection on them. They feel like maybe they failed. So they have to find a reason outside of themselves as to why they are not succeeding. They have to find a reason outside of themselves. And so they'll blame that. And that thing that is not in their control to change is way easier to blame. Let me put the blame there. And then I don't have to say that I'm not doing a good job, or that I could be doing better, or that there's something that maybe I need to work and stretch myself to learn. They somehow feel less than if it's the case that they could learn and grow more. And that's a falsehood. You're not less than if there's something you can improve on and learn and grow in. You're a human like the rest of us. And if we take every scenario and go, all right, what is this scenario? How can I learn? How can I grow? How can I overcome the obstacle? If we choose that perspective, then we have freedom to grow. We have freedom to try. We have freedom to put effort in, and we can see the results of our effort in our life. No effort is wasted in that arena. So you'll see yourself stretch and grow and accomplish things that you never thought possible before. But if you determine to believe that those things are what's limiting you, it will become true in your life that you cannot overcome those things because you have stated it as a truth. So now you are under this, let's say, space that you're in. The space that's not as beautiful as what you'd want it to be. Or you're under the fact that we just don't have the prettiest dresses. We don't have the best dresses, or our dresses are too inexpensive, or our dresses are too expensive. Whatever it is that you may be thinking about your dresses, you're believing the wrong thing about the space, the dresses, and the brides. And when you believe the wrong things about those particular arenas, it then limits you in so many areas with those things. So let me tell you this. If you are in a space that is stopping you from being successful, and you have no control over changing the space because you're not the owner, and it's such a problem that it is making you not succeed in your life and limiting your capabilities and abilities of shining brightly as a stylist, if that is limiting you, I would suggest as fast as you can, go ahead and resign and find another job. Might sound strong, but it's true. Because you should never stay in a situation where you feel somehow victimized or limited and it frustrates you. And you're just going back to work in a frustrated place, and you're going to let that get to you. I would challenge you, either change your mindset about it and realize actually it's not true that your space is stopping you. And the reason I can tell you that 100% is my personal experience. I have worked in a bridal shop before that the space was not glorious at all. It was extremely crowded. It was extremely dated. There was not enough room for any brides. There was only one main mirror that all the brides had to basically take turns at, with one seating area so people would shift. It was not conducive to glorious moments. And I could be successful in that space. And that's not just me. It's any person who chooses to overcome. Any person who sees that what they've been given is enough for what they need. It is everything that they need, in fact. Like, they've got what they need to accomplish and achieve. The mindset of taking what you have in your hand and saying, this is what I have, and I'm going to do all that I can with this, then you don't feel limited. You don't see the limitations as problems. You see them as a part of the framework in which you get to create magic. Do you hear that? You get to define and create magic. When we started our shop with only 22 dresses, I want to give a shout out to the shops out there who know what I'm talking about. Some of you out there started with the same number of dresses, or some of you maybe even fewer dresses. 22 dresses and 2 veils is what we started with. And yet my closing ratio was out the wazoo. If a bride came in, I was going to close that bride. We were just starting our shop, right? So you don't have a lot of traffic. Every bride mattered. And today, when we have 60 brides on a Saturday, every bride matters. You have to have the mindset that every bride matters, whether you're seeing 5 brides a week or 100 brides a week. Every bride matters. It's in your mindset. 22 gowns is enough for every bride that walked in that door. It didn't matter if she was a size 4 or a size 28. It didn't matter. I had enough to show her gowns and she could find the dress. It didn't matter that our space wasn't the biggest space in the world. It was a smaller shop, but the feeling of the space had to do with the people in the space and the moments that we were creating. We believed we had enough. It's all we could have. It's all we had the control to have. We had no more money to have any more dresses than what we had. And so it's seeing that this is what we have and it's enough for what I need. If another stylist can come into your space and have a higher closing ratio than you, then here's the truth. The gown selection is not the problem. I'm going to say that again. If another stylist can come into your space and have a higher closing ratio than you, then the number of gowns or the kinds of gowns or the price of the gowns, any of that is not an actual problem. If another stylist can close higher than you in today's bride's arena, with today's brides coming into her shop, because let me tell you, the brides that are coming into every shop today are today's brides. Newsflash, they're today's brides. So if a stylist can close at a high closing ratio with today's brides, then the fact that they're today's brides isn't the problem. It is how we view them that decides the reality. It's how we view our space. It's how we view the gowns. It's how we view the brides. But more than that, and hear me well, it's how we view ourselves. If you choose to say, I'm not the thing that needs to be worked on. These other things need to be changed. Now, can they be improved? Sure. Can someone improve the space? Yes. But I will tell you, you will not be equipped and able to close any more in a new space. You won't. If you do at the outset, it won't last long because your mindset is actually the issue that's holding you back. And this can happen in times when we feel insecure about ourselves. Maybe there's somebody in your life who has made you feel or is trying to make you feel less than. Maybe there's somebody in your life who's trying to make you feel like you are not that great. You're not that capable. And you need to stop thinking so great of yourself. And as hard as you're trying to hold on to the positive things about you, maybe those words are getting to you. And so then you get into a situation where maybe you're not doing as well. Maybe you're not achieving what you want to achieve, or maybe you're struggling. And those voices in your head start saying those words a little bit louder to you. Your natural tendency is going to try to defend yourself by saying, I'm not the problem. The problem is these things over here. I'm not the problem. I want to encourage you in this. You're not the problem, but only you are the solution. You're not the problem, but only you are the solution. Do you hear that? Don't let someone put you in a position where you're trying to defend yourself all the time as to not being the problem. That gets you in a mindset of that can affect other areas of your life in a negative way. You are the solution, which means that's why I go back to, if you're in a situation, it might be a relationship, it might be a workspace, it might be whatever. If there is a situation that you're in and you're like, this is a real problem, make a decision. Either decide, well, if this is the only job in this entire town, I guess I have to do it. So I'm going to change my attitude about it and I'm just going to do it. And I'm going to be happy here. And I'm going to learn how I can be the best I can be here. And I'm going to keep growing. And I'm going to find all the ways that I have power to get better. You can take that mindset and that would be amazing. That's super great. But if it is so toxic, if it is so bad that you're like, I just can't sell here, then the natural, logical thing to do is to leave and go to where you can. Why am I saying that? I believe strongly in love and in freedom and in you making choices based on what you're experiencing. Stop staying in positions that you are claiming are holding you back or hurting you and whatever. You're staying in that position. Move away from that if it's true. What actually is true, though, people will stay because they like whatever it is that's being provided for them or given to them or whatever. It doesn't cause them to have to get out of their comfort zone, but they have to start yelling louder that they're not the problem, that these other things are the problem, but they're just sticking it out. Really what they're doing is sucking the life out of the place. And they're determined to stay a victim. That is, I would encourage you to change that in your mindset. If that's been your mindset, change it. on purpose, intentionally change it. Realize that it is negative for your own life to stay in a position that you claim you're a victim. Move, get out, take action. Your life is your responsibility. And that's not a burden. That's a freedom. Your life is your responsibility. I love that freedom. Give me that responsibility. I don't believe in limitations. I really don't. Limitations only inform what path I need to take to get to success. That's what they do. They can't stop it. They cannot stop my success. They inform the path I need to do to get to success. So if your limitations, if you're claiming that they're stopping you, I want to challenge you to say, have you ever stopped and said, these limitations I'm feeling are actually supposed to be informing me of what I need to work on to be able to get to the goal? Okay, I see this, I see this, I see this. Then what do I need to do to overcome to get to the goal? What you believe is what either is empowering you or is limiting you. What you believe. There's a story, back in the day, there was a world record set for the fastest mile. And it was like 4 minutes and 1 second. And so it was just believed across the world that it was impossible to break the 4-minute mile. And that belief stayed for 9 years. From 1945 to 1954, that belief stayed. Everywhere you look, everyone would know the 4-minute mile, that you can't break the 4-minute mile. It's just impossible. This 4 minute and 1 second guy, boy, he's just amazing, supernatural. Nobody can break it. And then on that day in 1954, the record was broken. And the 4-minute mile was beaten. It was Sir Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile in 1954. He believed it could be broken. He believed the impossible was possible. He did something that no one had done for 9 years. And then guess what happened? 45 days later, somebody beat his record. Do you know record after record after record has been broken since then? How? Because there was someone. In fact, there was a couple someones who were working for years to break the record that was unbreakable, to take down that obstacle that seemed so insurmountable and say it can be done. And as soon as one person does that, it opens it up for everyone else. I want you to be that person in your space. I want you to realize when you hear your coworkers saying, well, our space is so dated, or our stock is just not right. Our brides, the brides that we get, oh my goodness, they're just today's brides. When you hear people talking like that, I want you to see that person and feel badly for them. They have just said out loud obstacles that they are putting in front of their own face. They're stopping themselves, and they're reaching out to you with the same obstacle and saying, here, chain your hands down. Chain your hands down. You be in bondage with me. You say that this is impossible with me. Affirm that this is the problem and have it stop you too. And then together we'll sit here in our chains and complain about the chains that we have, that we put on ourselves. Feel sad for that person and distance yourself from them. Do not think that any words will necessarily change them. It's only going to be the light of your life that they get then to choose what to do with. Listen to me closely. They get to choose what to do with the light of your difference. You shining brightly and closing brides when everyone else is saying it's impossible. Shine brightly and close more. Don't listen to the average percentage of what everybody else closes and feel like, oh, that's where I need to be. There are no limitations for you. There is no record that is set that you can't break, but it can limit you to listen to other people's negativity. It can limit you to hear what they think are limitations, and then you adopt them. You take that burden and you strap it on your back, and you take that chain and you put it on your wrist and you put it on your feet, and you slow yourself down lest you in ignorance run forward and do well. Like you are about to ignorantly love brides. What in the world? You need to be guarded and protected from these brides who are coming in to take from you and who are not serious and who are just wasting your time and who are no showing and not even calling and all of that. Distance yourself from that noise. And you look forward. And you don't listen to the press saying that the 4-minute mile will never be broken. And you go, yeah, but I haven't lived yet until now. I wasn't in this race 9 years ago, but I am now. And I'm going to break it. And I'm going to understand brides better. And I'm going to love the stock and be super creative with the stock and believe that these gowns are amazing and that brides actually don't know until they put gowns on what they actually want and love. And that these gowns are just as beautiful of designer gowns as any other store could ever have. And that I can't know what bride is coming in here to perfectly find this dress in our off-the-rack collection that was just put there. And it's going to be the perfect marriage of those things. And the best appointments are going to be all the off-the-rack appointments. Or the best appointments are going to be the bride who's getting married next week. And the best appointments are going to be the ones where the family is fractured and I can help them see each other and love each other better. I'm going to love finding those opportunities, and I'm going to grow in them and believe that the best things in this world are had because they are difficult to have. And the best people are shaped by the difficulties that they go through in positive ways. They've overcome hard things. That's why they're strong. This is who you need to be. And if you want to be this kind of champion, you want to be this kind of facilitator as a stylist, get away from the negativity. And take any of those thoughts that are starting to come into your mind, just beginning to come into your mind, and say, no, I am not stopped by difficulty. I am glad for it. I am glad for the difficulty. If I'm the best closer in an ugly space with not great gowns and with today's brides who are all in social media, and I can rule in that space, I'm the best of the best. That's what I want to be. I don't believe in limitations. I've seen it happen too many times where a group, a ragtag, misfit group that never should have been put together, but they had the right hearts and we had the right mission. And this ragtag group that I'm thinking about, I just want to give a shout out to all of you out there who were in it. This first one I'm thinking of is my 13-member choir, my very first choir I ever conducted. We had 13 people in the choir from 9th to 12th grade, because that's all we had in our 9th to 12th grade was 13 people. One of the members of the choir was completely incapable of matching a pitch, struggled very much to match a pitch ever. But if we didn't have that person in the choir, we weren't considered to be in the choir category. We'd have to be in the large ensemble category because that was 12 people. But we needed 13, so we had to have the tone deaf person in our choir. And so I told this person, okay, you're just going to mouth the words and listen. Do a lot of listening. I was 18 years old conducting this choir. It was an unusual opportunity. I was trying to help in my family's school. And so I jumped in and took the choir. And we took I didn't have a pianist, so I had to play the piano in front of the choir to teach them the parts. They couldn't read music. And so I'd just teach them the parts, and then we worked on their individual voices, got them feeling safe so they'd be confident to sing out. They were a great group of kids. They were friends of mine. I just graduated from high school from this very group. My best friend was in it. And we tried some songs that were probably out of our league, but we believed we could do it. And we worked really hard. We won state competition that year. We won the state title. And then we went on to nationals. And I remember speaking with another conductor who didn't know that I was 18. This conductor had his doctorate's degree in choral conducting, and I'm competing against this guy. He had a choir of 62 people. It was a huge choir. And I was in awe of his ability. I'd always looked up to him. And he told me, he said, I just want to give you a word of encouragement. This is your first time at nationals. And he said, don't let your choir get discouraged. Take the judges' sheets. When you get your judges' sheets, take them home, go through the judges' sheets and, learn from it. And then next year you'll get better, and next year you'll get better. It'll be really great. He hadn't heard my choir yet. He just knew it was my first time there. And I was really appreciative of the advice. I took the advice. I was like, thank you so much. I will definitely do that. We gave it our all. You don't understand. When I was driving back and forth from college to conducting this choir, I would be constantly thinking of ways that we could get an edge in the competition. Constantly thinking this a cappella song and this a cappella song. One of the things I was like, okay, so I'm going to teach them the intervals between the end of this song and the beginning of the next song so that I don't have to have anybody play the notes for the next song. We'll end the song, wait for the judges, and then we'll start the next song in the next key, and that'll be an extra little edge of impressiveness, right? And how we stood was different than the other choirs, and anything I could think of to get us an edge. And that first year of conducting, that first semester I conducted, after we won state and we were at nationals, we won second at nationals. Our little 13-member choir. We never, on paper, should have won. We're a ragtag group that had never won anything at nationals before. I'm 18. I don't have my degree in conducting. I loved my friends. They loved me. And someone said, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. And we did. The next semester, conducted again, and we had 17 people the next semester. We won nationals the next year. I will never forget having that choir sing in the showcase. I was 19 then, and we went up against some incredible conductors. And we won, and we're singing in the showcase. It was this euphoric experience. Should we have won? No, because there were limitations. We didn't have cuts for choir. It was everybody that was involved. Everybody that was in the school had to be involved in the choir. We didn't get to choose who it was. We had to take who we were given, and we had to work to figure out how to make the best of what we had. And we worked individually and we worked collectively, and we conquered. Same in sports. Any arena of your life. Your limitations just inform you of how to have a path forward to success. Take that mindset, hold on to it, believe it, and change at the level of belief. If you've been believing the lie that these limitations are stopping you, then it's true in your life. They're stopping you. But I'm going to tell you, it's a lie. As soon as you realize it's a lie. It's the truth if you want it to be the truth. But if you realize that you can believe something different, you will see that you are being held back by something that wasn't true. Truth sets you free. And that's what we want to live in. Let's live in love and freedom. Let's realize that we actually have all that we need to accomplish what we are called to do. You have in your hands everything you need to accomplish what you're called to do. Celebrate it. Celebrate that that's true. Find the things that are strong about what you have and celebrate those things. And you will live a life that is contented, not a life that is settled, where you're settling, a life that is contented, constantly striving to grow, not settling, but content with what you have. Because you know that what you have is what you need to accomplish what you're supposed to accomplish. Strive to accomplish. Give it all. And you will be amazed that when you give it all in a space where other people would say you don't have enough, you will see how it multiplies into something that you could have never dreamed possible. That's the only way to live. Let's do it together. All right, hit save on that. If this is something that could help encourage somebody else, make sure you send it to them. Save it so you can listen to it later and listen to it over and over and over until you start seeing the light and beauty and possibilities that are right now in your life. And let me know when you do, because I'll be cheering you on from over here. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on Hit Save on That. Bye, guys.